Okay, so this is my gingerbread house that I made using the Wilton gingerbread recipe off of their site. And I made my royal frosting using the Wilton recipe and Wilton meringue powder that I purchased at Walmart. I also purchased the Wilton Deluxe tip set that came with one coupler. And I only used one bag. It was a disposable bag, but I just kept rinsing it out for when I made the red frosting. And I made some brown frosting because some of my larger pieces of gingerbread broke. I had them on wax paper, and I forgot to put Pam underneath the window spaces. Can you see that wax stuck to the back of that window? And I made the sugar glass using water, light corn syrup, and white sugar. And it's kind of tricky because you have to get it just right if you want it clear. I really like the purple. And see that one, you can see through it because I put the Pam underneath it. And to get all these different colors, I ladled the candy into a Pyrex measuring cup and poured it in out of the little spout. But for some reason, that's the plain candy. It's really nice and clear. For some reason, even the ones that I sprayed the Pam in, they stuck to the counter top, and some of the cookies were kind of thin because I only made one batch of gingerbread to do this, and they broke. So next year I'll probably put a double layer of wax paper underneath them. Then I had extra lollipop from my first batch because my first entire batch of gingerbread I made, I stacked them after I took them off of the wax paper because I never did this before, and they all stuck together. And I had this lollipop, I just poured it out onto a pan, so I used it as a lake, and I put little goldfishes under it. The ones on it are just to draw the eyes so that the judges will look at it. And these little snowflakes that are stuck on there are from India Tree. They make vegan confections, you can look at them online, and the little hearts are from a Valentine's Day Wilton confetti mix. And then I just added the little fruit drop candies. I got those at Price Chopper in the cake section. And those are Haribo gummy bears used as the gummy bear gargoyles and the gummy bear guards. And this tree, I'm actually kind of really proud of this tree. I made it by stacking green Starlight peppermints, and I had to let the layers dry in between. And then I just added 1 drop of green frosting to a 1/4 cup of my Wilton Royal frosting. Did I say that right? And then at the top I put 1 little India Tree Trading Company snowflake that had been broken. Oh, and then I used the after dinner mints. I didn't use any of the yellow ones. And those little Christmas tree candies. Those came inside of a Christmas ornament. They're inside a little ball Christmas ornament inside of a plastic bag. And then I used marshmallows and one of the tips. I don't know the numbers of the tips because I never really used them before. And filled in all the spaces so it looked snowy. And then the shingles are made out of spice gumdrops that I mushed with my finger. So is this snowman. Oh, reminds me, I gotta finish this one before I bring it to the competition. And what else? Oh, the roof, what I did is I just used a square piece of dough that I put on the pan, cut it into strips of all different lengths with the extra gingerbread that I had from the batch. And then I stuck them together. So it was like one sticking up this way that met the other one in the middle. I just put frosting on the edge here and the edge here and on both edges of the cookies and stuck them together, and they stayed. And since I had all other lengths, after I had like the 4 pieces in a cross shape, I used shorter for here and here, and then I used the other pieces, I broke them and made cross straps. So there's like diagonal bits under here and some are sideways. And then as there were smaller spaces, I used cherry lifesavers and starlight mints underneath the gumdrops. Because sometimes there was like a space like that big and the gumdrop would have inverted. So I used a piece of candy to hold it up like that. And the other thing I learned during my second batch of gingerbread is it's easiest to just put the gingerbread on the cookie sheet, because you don't have to grease the cookie sheet. Roll it out onto the cookie sheet. Pretty thin. They say 1/8 of an inch. Go thinner, because when you bake the gingerbread, it doubles up. It puffs up, double of what it is when you roll it. And then I cut the shapes on the pan and pulled away the excess. Then I baked the gingerbread for 8 minutes at 375 degrees. And right when the cookies come out, I took a sharp knife and I trimmed all the edges so they were perfectly straight. Trimmed out all the windows. And I did the circle windows using lids from the candy. I cut the circles out before, and the squares before I baked the gingerbread, and after I again used the lids like little cookie cutters and made them exactly perfect. I found that if you want really nice edges, I made some cookies for my son. You just roll a square piece of gingerbread onto the pan, bake it in a square. When it comes out hot, then cut the shapes. You do waste gingerbread that way, but I had extra gingerbread, so I didn't really care. I made the walls pretty thin because I want it to be light. I have to carry this down 2 flights of stairs and across the street to the gingerbread competition. I feel sorry for all the people who have to drive in their car. And yesterday was the deadline to drop it off, but the woman wasn't in her shop yesterday or the day before yesterday. So there's going to be a ton of people dropping off their gingerbread houses today. I think that I'm going to win. I know that sounds crazy because everybody who made a gingerbread house thinks they're going to win. But I really think I'm going to win. Because I don't think anybody else is going to have real windows and real roof. Alright, so that's my Wilton gingerbread house. Happy holidays and have a Merry Christmas. Bye.